Shalom. Welcome to A Taste of Torah with Rabbi Carol. This week's parsha is entitled Toldot. The name of the parsha usually comes from the first verse, which this week is Bereshit, Genesis 25, verse 19, and Toldot means Genesis. But I want to jump down to chapter 26, which is still part of the first Aliyah, the first section, and read verses 1 through 5 and encourage you with something from Adonai. So it says, the famine came over the land, and not the same as the first famine, which had taken place when Abraham was alive, and Yitzchak went to Gerar, to Avimelech the king of the Philistines. Adonai appeared to him and said, Don't go down into Egypt, but live where I tell you. Stay in this land, and I will be with you and bless you, because I will give all these lands to you and to your descendants. I will fulfill the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. I will give all these lands to your descendants, and by your descendants all the nations of the earth will bless themselves. All this is because Abraham heeded what I said and did what I told him to do. He followed my mitzvot, my regulations, and my teachings. Wow, Selah, awesome. All right, so God is going to bless the nations of the earth through the Jewish people, and I'm not going to talk about that. I could, but I want to talk about listening to God and making decisions not based on our circumstances. So a famine came in the land. That means there wasn't much food, and there had been a famine for during the lifetime of Abraham, Yitzchak's father, Isaac's father. And Abraham did leave the land and went somewhere where there was food. But God tells Isaac, I don't want you to leave the land. I want you to stay here. And I think that's so important because so many times I see people moved by the circumstances around them, whether it be the economy, whether it be something that has happened in their life that pushes them to make a big major decision. And they decide to pick up and move and to do something drastic because they feel that it's the right thing to do. And in the natural, it might seem like that is correct. For Yitzchak, Isaac, where would he get food? Of course, if there was a famine, it made sense to go somewhere where there was food. But that's not what God wanted Isaac to do. And so I want us to stop and to think about the decisions that we make. Are we making decisions based on our emotions, based on circumstances, the political climate, things that are happening all around us? Or are we really, really listening to the voice of God? Are we being moved by things that in the natural tell us this is the right thing to do and you need to do it? Or can we stop for the moment and sit and listen and hear the still small voice of God speaking to us and saying, this is the way, walk in it. So I want to encourage you, don't be moved by your emotions. Don't be moved by the pressure of what other people tell you. Don't be moved by the circumstances that you find yourself in, whether personally, on the job, in your family, in our society. Instead, let's trust God. That's what Isaac did. And even though there was a famine in the land, and even though it seemed it would be better for him to move, Isaac didn't. And guess what? God provided for him. And God will do the same for you and me. So we don't want to be those who respond out of our emotions or a knee-jerk reaction to things happening around us, but we want to put our hope and trust in God as always. So I look forward to seeing you this Shabbat here at Beth Emanuel, Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. If you come at 10, you can join us for a cup of coffee. And if you're not on Long Island, we are streaming here on Facebook or our YouTube channel. God bless you, and I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.